Well, what do you guys think of this horse shit? This is the trail where I walk off to go to the shop, and I got snow up to the top of my boot, so probably a good foot right here. And then I guess it kind of just depends on where you're going. You hear the birds chirping. What do you think of this crap? And this is freaking day 2 of this freaking madness. The only good thing about it is that it's moisture, and we're severely lacking a lot of moisture. But the problem is this isn't going to bring much. This will bring some, but it's not going to bring enough. And it's funny how just a few days ago I wasn't here in the shop. I was sharpening the lawnmower blades, and I still got the mower deck off the mower because I'm just taking my my freaking sweet time with it because I'm not in a hurry. I got done not yesterday, but the day before was the day that I sharpened my lawnmower blades and I put them back on, and I also greased the mower deck and in the front of the mower. I didn't do the back yet because the back is shoved up against the wall, so I have to readjust everything. I have to move stuff again in order to put my deck back on. But I guess I won't be mowing yet for a wee while yet. But I like to get things ready. You know, I wouldn't mind this so much if it was just straight rain. But when it's snow like this is just disappointing. And it's kind of funny how too, last year, right around this same time, starting yesterday, which is when this started, I guess, it was around the same date that we got snow. How much snow we got, I don't remember. I guess I could go back on the videos and look again, but I think we got more snow this time than we did last year. I don't know, but the snow is wet and it's heavy, so it's not really blowing, but it's whatever is in the air right now, that's what's blowing around. But it seems like once it hits the ground, then it starts to melt because the ground's warmer. I went to the farm today because I didn't go yesterday, and yeah, and then in the yard, again, depending on, you know, where it was drifting and stuff, there's about a good, you know, 2-foot drift, whatever. And then going up the ramp on the dike where I go to, you know, get on top of the dike to go into our field, that had a drift on it about close to 2 feet again, because I don't know if you saw it in the video or not, but I was showing the front of Big Red. Big Red was actually pushing snow. You know, the front end of him was pushing a little bit of snow, so she was definitely you know, thick. And then again, I didn't get it on video, but it's too windy when you're on top of the dike. It's just too windy and cold, and I don't want to deal with it. So where I have the fence dipping down the dike, you know, going to where I want to connect it, those posts, because I don't have one here now to show you because I used the last one, but that round post that I had for the electric fence, I think those things are only 48 inches tall. I think they're not very tall, and I have one that's completely buried under snow because there's so much of a drift there now on the side of the dike because of how the snow is, you know, blowing over the dike. So I don't know. I don't think there was much snow in the field. This is where a lot of this should be at, is in the field, not in my yard. And what's so crazy too is that my front yard, let's see, we got a rain before this. A couple days before this, we got a good soaking of rain. Not a huge soaker, but enough to dampen the top, which I guess was good. And then it got warm out, and then the front yard was actually starting to turn green. It was really starting to grow. I was like, yeah, I bet you I'd be mowing probably in another week or two, at least just the front yard. But you're not going to be mowing now. So what is ticking? God, it's outside. I think it must be a bird. Sounds like it's in the shot, but I guess it's outside. Hear some birds crowing or making noise. But yeah, this is technically day 2 now. They were saying this was supposed to happen for a couple days, and then at the beginning there, they put us in for the worst amount of snow, which I think was up to a foot or two. That we were in the red, so that was the highest amount they said was a foot or two. And I think we got that, but it just, again, it depends on where you're standing. Like right here, you can see grass poking through, so there's hardly nothing there, but over there, you can tell it looks like it's drifting in pretty good. But again, in my yard, it's all drifted like mad too, so. And then, of course, the wind's picking up. The wind was pretty bad yesterday too, and then going into the evening, it was getting worse by the minute. So, yeah, I just can't, not surprising, because we had this last year too, but for just how nice it was, you know, before this, it was, well, it was nice out. Like, I mean, I'm wearing my overalls now, and my boots, you know, and just a couple days ago, I was just in a regular, you know, t-shirt and jeans, and was doing stuff just fine. So, but I suppose this is going to be our new normal now. If it was rain, it would be a different story, because this is the time of year it should be raining, because, you know, that's what feeds the grass and gets the grass growing and yada yada yada, typical bullshit. You know, I would rather see rain than snow, but I don't want so much rain that we get flash flooding. That's what I hate about it too, is that I think it was back in 2012, it was like a year after I moved into this place. I've already said this story before. We got a lot of rain in spring, and that one day it was storming out, and it was supposed to be an all-day thing, and then we lost power, and then my basement flooded, so then I was forced to pretty much gut my basement because everything was wrecked. So yeah, so but we didn't have a generator or anything like that. We still don't have one. I need to finish that project as well, but I need to get this trimmer out of here. But yeah, I was going to put the little generator head on there, and then that should be enough to just power at least one thing at a time, which in a rainy season it would be my sub pump for the basement, so we don't, you know, flood our damn basement up. But and if we have to charge like a cell phone or something, then we can do that, or we could just start Big Red or whatever and charge them off of that too, right? So we always have options for power. But this is just, you know, kind of mind-blowing. And then the dike, you know, that area that I fenced off, that grass is actually doing pretty good. It's not fully green yet, but it's actually way more greener than my front yard is. And the grass, what is turning green, is actually a good maybe 3 inches tall. Like it was doing pretty good. But you know, that is because it gets a lot of sun. The sun is pounding directly down on it, and then you get a good shower or whatever, you know, then that grass really likes to take off. So I probably could almost, you know, put the cows on it, and I suppose like June or July, whenever we think we need to, and then take them off it for a month, and then it probably would grow back a few more inches, you know, and then put them back on it in fall, because it just gets so warm there, and then you get a good little rain, and that stuff just, I don't know, the grass on the dike really likes to take off, so I'm thinking that might be a good good rotation there, you know, put them on it for, you know, put them on it until they strip it right down to nothing, and then fence it off, close it off for a month or two, and then put them back on it again later on. So later on in the year, but yeah. But this doesn't. I mean, this will help, but I just don't like seeing rain this time of the year. I mean, snow. We shouldn't be seeing snow this time of the year. We ought to be seeing some freaking rain. But it was same thing last year too. We got snow in April, and you know, we shouldn't be, but we are. This is the second year in a row now we've had this. So not really terribly surprising. It's just kind of a disappointment. It's kind of depressing, but in a way, I guess I'm not complaining a whole hell of a lot, because I'm not having to move it. I'll just let it melt on its own. I mean, you don't need to shovel this anyway, because it ain't that deep. This will add moisture to our hay. I mean, you know, that's the only good thing that it'll do, is it'll add moisture to every, you know, to the pastures, to the hay, and then to the grass on the side of the dike and whatever. That's the only plus out of this. But you know, you don't get a lot of, you know, you don't get a lot of moisture out of this. So, you know, we're gonna still need more rain throughout the rest of the summer. But I just kind of hope we get it. So, but I don't know. They won't give us rain, but I guess, you know, we're gonna have to take the snow. It's not terribly cold out either, but it's cold enough obviously that you're getting snow, but yet, you know, it's kind of just melting too. So I'm not even going to touch the shit. It can just melt. I'm done shoveling for the year. So yeah, my uncle already put his snowblower away too. He says he's got to work on the front auger a little bit. It's got twine wrapped up in it, and it looks like it might be getting into a bearing, so he's going to have to rip all that out and check the bearing. But other than that, he says he ain't touching it anymore. He's done. Just like I'm done. I ain't putting the plow. I still have the snow plow up in the garage, but it's just because I have nowhere to put it, because in the summertime, this is where I put it. And I got the hose here, so the hose has to go outside, back up to the house. I need to make some freaking room, but I guess I could get rid of some of this crap too, and I'll have to clean it up a little bit. And yeah, I just need another freaking storage building so I can put more crap in there. These ramps could go in that extra storage building, so I won't be using those anytime soon, but they're there in case I need them. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what's pretty much that's what's going on here, is freaking snow. I mean, oh yeah. Anyway, it's just a few days ago, or maybe, I don't know, I suppose a few days ago or whatever, I was cultivating the trail down there in the woods, and I left the back window open a little bit on the tractor. I closed it, you know, as far as I could, because I still had the cable running through it. So I left it cracked open just enough for the cable to sit there and not put any pressure on the window or anything stupid like that. Well, snow still managed to, I guess, blow its way in. So not a hell of a lot. It's not going to wreck the interior, I don't think. I pushed most of it back out the window, but I mean, yeah, whatever. It's just, you know, I could have went out there the other day and closed it, or I could have just closed it that day, but I didn't think we were going to get snow, and sure as fuck we got snow. So, but it's just the back lower interior that got a little wet, but it ain't gonna hurt it. It'll dry up. It'll dry up and then be back to normal again. So, but yeah, this is what we're getting. Some lovely frickin' snow. So I still got the tractor hooked up to the cultivator too. I never unhooked it because I thought I'd be going back out in another week or so to hit it again, but I guess it'll probably. I mean, this will probably. I imagine this will melt in a couple of days if it, because they're saying warmer weather again. But I mean, it's just, you know, it's gonna get everything soaking wet again, and then it's gonna need a few more days to dry out. So you might as well say another week there to dry out, because they're not saying 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, in full sun. They're just saying cloudy and maybe 50s, maybe touching 60s, but barely. You know, so not much is going to dry in those days either. It'll dry some, but not a hell of a lot. So, yeah, and it was just the other day. It was just the other day there, we were working on the grain truck again. We had that antifreeze leak go on there, and my uncle managed to fix it. We don't know how long it'll last, but it'll last long enough for us to give the engine a good workout. So, but yeah, we won't be tinkering with the truck for a while because this bullshit here. And then when we had to take that neck off the water, because I think it's attached to the water pump. The antifreeze goes through it. It's on the top of the engine there, but towards the front. But that is what was leaking. So we took that off, you know, and he fixed it. But in the process of removing it, we had to destroy the gasket that I made for it, which is some simple gasket maker that's in a tube. And so we wrecked that. So I cleaned all that up, you know, got it all clean again, and had to redo it. And then it required 24 hours to cure. So I don't know if it really got much to cure or not, because I mean, I imagine they said that the colder it gets, the longer it's going to take for that to cure. And I imagine it's cured most of the way, but I imagine this is going to put a pretty good hurting on it. But I mean, I don't know what else to do. I don't have a nice heated shop to work in, so I don't know. So who knows when we'll get to test the leak, you know, to see if we fixed our leak or not. I don't know when we'll get to test that. Probably won't be for another week. And then in the process, while I was waiting for him to fix the leak, because that was going to take a couple of days, I was trying to get the brakes to work on the truck, because we don't have brakes. And I'm trying to remember what they called that part, but I think it's the master cylinder. I think that's what they called it. Well, on these trucks, it's on the side of the frame rail, next, you know, inside the frame rail, next to the engine. You can get to all that, and that's where you put your brake fluid in. And yeah, I can't get anything to move, but I want to try it again once we get, you know, more of the warm spells again. But yeah, I can't get nothing to move. But I don't know. I kind of thought they were a mechanical braking system, but my uncle doesn't understand it either, because when we look at it, it's like you see wires going to it. So it's like it's a electric braking system, but I don't think trucks back then had that. I think it was mechanical braking. So we don't understand why there's wires running to it. It should just be basically just the brake lines and then your rod for your pedal. That's all it should be hooked to it. So I don't really know what the purpose of the wires do, because we haven't really looked into that all that much. But we think that the master cylinder is bad. And I did take I screwed the cap out of it. And I noticed that there was kind of a lot of junk at the bottom, but I never really did clean it. I just never bothered. I just figured, that maybe that won't hurt it because it's at the bottom, you know. So, but I don't know. I was gonna maybe try to clean it out, because I think there was a drain on it. So I was gonna try to maybe break the drain plug out, you know, the bolt, and it's just at such an awkward angle you can't get to it. I think you have to literally be under the truck to get to it. And well, I'm not a skinny guy, so I can't really fit under there. And I don't have my ramps yet. you know, to lift it up. So what do you do? But I don't know where we can find a master cylinder for a truck like this. I don't even know who the hell would sell them. And I kind of doubt that Rock Auto would sell them. That's where I got the spark plugs from, but you know, for a master cylinder for that style of truck, I don't think you're gonna find them. I don't know if you can send them in somewhere and have them, the old ones rebuilt or what, but you kind of need brakes in order to, you know, make your truck stop. So other than that, I don't know. But for right now, I think the way I want to do is I want to get the engine broke back in again. You know, make sure, you know, clean get the cobwebs out of it and get it running again. And then it should be the transmission. And I don't really have transmission oil for that. I mean, I do, but it's the automatic kind. And my uncle's like, "Huh, you're gonna wreck your transmission if you do that." Well, to me, oil is oil. As long as it keeps things cool and keeps things lubricated, I don't think it'll hurt it. But he's being a big crybaby about it, so I guess we'll just try to find some manual type oil for a transmission like that, because it's not an automatic transmission. It's got the stick in it. So yeah. So instead of him crying like a baby, I guess I'll have to try to find some stuff for that type of transmission. Thought maybe the Dollar General would have it, but they don't. They have automatic stuff, which is where I got all this from, but it's the good stuff. But he doesn't want it in the transmission, so I might talk to them over there, see if they have anything, but I doubt it. I might have to end up ordering that online. Maybe Rock Auto would sell that type of stuff. Well, the truck stop might have it. That might be in. They might. I don't know. Because we got a truck stop over in North Dakota side, but I don't know if they really sell much for parts. I mean, I imagine they sell a few things, but I don't know. The reason you can find this more. I haven't been in there for a number of years, so I don't really know what's changed. But last time I was in there, I think they mostly just sold food and had a restroom and a place where you could take your breaks and take a shower if you had to, whatever. It's just your normal truck stop. But I don't know if they ever had parts. They might have. I thought back in the day they used to actually sell CB radios. But that was back when I was a kid, so they had a few things, but what they are now, I don't know. I haven't been in there for a number of years, so I guess I could always go in there and just look around, see if they have anything for a transmission. But yeah. And then me and my uncle we got into the hydraulics on that truck, and I'm still confused on how that setup works. I don't get how it works, because the way I know of it as of, you know, today, how they do it today on trucks, usually when you have something that's, you know, PTO powered, you know, that's hydraulic, usually you would have like another little off, there'd be like another gearbox that comes off the side of your transmission, and then that's your PTO for whatever you're running on the back of your truck. And then, you know, then you would have a drive shaft running all the way to your hydraulic pump, and then, you know, you would obviously engage your PTO with a lever or a switch or something, and then you would have another switch or a lever to actually engage whatever you're using. In this case, it'd be hydraulics. So, but on this truck, there is no PTO. There's no drive shaft or anything coming off the engine. It's just two steel lines. So I don't know if the truck, like if it's being powered off the transmission oil, and that's basically your PTO, and that's what's powering the hydraulic pump, and then you pull a lever, and then that opens the valves, and then that releases your hydraulic oil that's under pressure, and that sends it through your cylinders. I don't know. But I don't see a drive shaft coming from the transmission to the truck or to the hydraulic system on it. It's just two steel lines, which I'm guessing they're oil lines of some kind. So I don't really know how they're doing that, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with this old stuff, so I don't know if that actually is a thing that they did back in the day. Is everything was? I mean, I can see. I mean, I see people doing it nowadays. Stuff's, driven from the engine to whatever. It's just pressure. But usually, a lot of times, it's actually PTO driven. So I'm not really too sure there. But like I said, it's just two steel lines, and they come from under the cab. I never really did trace them because the ground's wet and I didn't want to look at that. So I don't know if it's just pressured, like as soon as the truck runs, the transmission oil gets pumped through, and that's what spins your hydraulic pump, and then you just engage it with a lever, and that opens your hydraulic pump, and then you have another lever to operate it, for tilting your bed or whatever. I don't fucking know. It's a confusing setup, but I know that my uncle said that there's something wrong with, because underneath the truck there you can see it, you have it's basically like a valve, and you turn it one way, that opens your hydraulics, and that tells your bed to go up, and you turn it the other way, and then it releases the pressure, so then your bed comes back down. But my uncle said that it's very sticky, he said. So back in the day when the great-grandparents used that truck, they actually had to get like a long stiff wire or something. It used to be in the truck apparently, but it's not there anymore because I don't see it. But it had a bend on it, and then you would actually snake that through, and then you would either pull on it or push it, depending on what you wanted to do with the truck's hydraulics. So basically the remotes that are under the truck bed now are useless. They don't really do anything, except that one. But one is seized and then the other one's not, so I don't know there. But my theory is just that when the time comes, I'm going to remove all those old cables, because a lot of them are, one's seized. I'm sure you can still find those, because it's just a pole cable type of thing, So I was thinking maybe I could just find some new ones with longer cables on them, and then run them up into the truck cab through the floor, and then maybe just mount them to the underside of the dash. Because on these trucks you had to actually physically get out of the truck to turn on your hydraulics and then to raise and lower your bed. I would rather eliminate that where I can just stay in the cab. So, because if we're hauling bales in the wintertime with it, I don't want to get out, especially if we have good heat going, I don't want to get out of a nice toasty warm cab. So if I can move all the levers to inside the cab, I'm just going to do that instead. Either that, or I could come up with some kind of a levers or something. I don't really know. Or if maybe, I don't know if there's a way I can switch it to where it's actually valves, like loader valves. I don't really know what I could do there. It'd probably be some heavy modifications to, do that, but I wouldn't mind it, I guess, so much, even though they're both on cables. If I could just put the PTO on a cable, that would be okay. And then for actually physically raising and lowering the bed, you could just put a valve in, just like a loader valve, but just a single spool. And then one way can be open and one way can be closed, and you can just hang on to it or whatever. So, but I don't know, because I haven't gotten into that hydraulic system on that truck yet, and that's kind of like the last thing I do, because I got to make sure that the engine's going to run, and then I want to start testing the transmission in the rear end, and that's another thing I got to get. Is I got to get gear case oil. So, because I don't know, because it looks like that's been leaking out, but whatever, it doesn't really matter anyway. But I'll put new stuff in if I can find it. Maybe the truck stop would have it. I don't know. Because I'm not the only one that would have a leaky rear end. So I imagine there's trucks coming in all the time with leaky rear ends, and they need oil to top it off to get them through the day. So I imagine they got something there. I just haven't ever really looked. So I might have to maybe someday, I guess, maybe this summer or later this fall or something, I guess go take a peek. But other than that, I'm not going to worry about it because right now it's just the engine. We know the engine runs, but I just want to make sure it's going to run good and not overheat. And then the other thing is too is that piece that I took off, you know, to have fixed, that my uncle fixed. I didn't even realize it, but my uncle finally realized it. He's like, "Wait a minute, something's missing here." And I'm like, "Well, what's missing? I don't see anything." He's like, "The damn thermostat's missing." So we're running without a thermostat, and that's supposed to be in line with your coolant flow. You know, when you go off the top of the rad and you go to the top of the motor like that, there's supposed to be a thermostat. And apparently any one will work. And he said just to go, I guess, to the diesel shop there where I get my diesel fuel, and he said just to get one there, but I don't know if any normal one would fit or what. I'm not really even sure. So at some point I gotta find a frickin' thermostat. But also the temperature gauge in the truck don't work either. I noticed that the needle's stuck to hot. Now it could just be that the needle's stuck, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe I could just rig up a temporary gauge for now. I'll show you guys here in a second. You guys can tell me if you think that will work. I got FedEx coming by here. What are you gonna do? He's gonna go to the school, I guess. Okay. Because I don't know if I had anything coming or not. I think my sister said that she's sending a couple things my way, but I don't know. So, anyways, I got this thermostat. Yeah, my ass. I have this temperature gauge that I pulled off the 1586 a few years ago because I fixed all the original stuff. Well, not really. The 1586 needs a new thermostat too, and those are expensive. I don't know if I could order another one of those off, order two of those thermostats and just put one in the grain truck or not. But I have this temperature gauge here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what was in the tractor when I bought it. That's your temperature. So you know that you're not going to boil your engine to piss into basically dust. But I don't know if it would work or not because it has this kind of an end on it. Let's see if I can get in a little closer for you guys, but I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that would work on my truck or not, on that International. Because that thing's got a much bigger doohickey on it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's your sensor. But there's plenty of cable here, so I don't know if I could run that through the dash and then just mount this. I mean, well, the dash on the truck is steel, so I would have to, I guess, mount something else to it, I guess, to keep it in place. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work in there or not. At least we could see what the engine temperature is doing. But I don't know if that end, you know, would fit in. I don't even know where the sensor is for the original temperature gauge. I don't know where the original one is for that. So it should still be in the truck now, but where it is on the engine block, I don't know, because I haven't traced any wiring really. So, but if I can't get the gauge fixed, I could probably maybe just rig up this one, but I don't know if that would work for this truck or not, because this has got such a big end on it, and I don't know if they all do, or if this is just an, you know, because it was an International tractor, but it's going into an International truck. So, but you know, the truck's just older, so I don't know. But I don't know. You guys tell me if you think that would fit or not, because if not, well, then I'll have to try to see if I can get the gauge to work. But I'm thinking the gauge is probably just bad. But if not, well, then maybe it's just a needle. Maybe the needle's just stuck. Maybe it just needs a little WD-40 put on it, and maybe it would spring back to life. I don't know. So, but yeah, so truck's coming along. I guess whenever we get back to that, and who knows, it'll probably be Christmas of 2025 before we can get back to it. I don't know. Who knows? So, but if we can stick that gauge in there, then maybe we can just do that for now. I don't know. It's the only one I got, so I don't know where the other one is in the truck. I haven't looked, but I don't know if that would even fit in there or not. So, but whatever, you guys can tell me what you think. If you think that'll work, I guess let me know. But if not, then I will just go without until we fix the original crap. And then at some point I gotta order a thermostat, which ain't gonna be anytime soon because I've already glued all that back up together now. So I think we'll probably just go the summer without it. The truck will still run warm anyway. It'll still warm up without it. So, and it'll probably just take a little longer. But you know, you can just give it full throttle, and there you go. It'll warm up in a hell of a hurry then. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on. I do apologize for this long video. So we're getting snow, and an update on the truck for you, in case you guys were wondering on that. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.